What's up, everybody? Welcome to Chats with the Freak. My name is Emmy, and this week we got a little bit of a pre-recorded episode. Everything's kind of crazy right now. If you're watching this, I'm going to currently be at a Blue Oyster Cult show in PA at a winery when this airs, so I'm very excited for that. So stay tuned on my social media to be checking that out. But I've been wanting to have this group on my podcast for actually fucking ever. Gina and the Eastern Bloc. I'm just gonna bring them on. I'm so fucking hyped for this. So fucking hyped for this.
Hey,
how are you guys?
What's up? We're good. We're good.
What's up?
Great. Yeah, like I said, I'm so excited to have you guys on finally. I've been trying to get you guys on for a hot minute, and I've been mentally wanting to have you guys on for longer than that. So I'm very excited, and thank you guys for coming on with me and working with my crazy schedule.
Yeah, thank you. No, we're psyched.
Yeah, thanks for having us, girlfriend.
So you guys, obviously, with everything being shut down, and those who are familiar with Gina, you're in Little Miss Nasty, who pretty much they don't stop touring ever, pretty much, I feel like. How have you guys been handling the crazy shutdown with COVID?
Well, at first, it was a complete shock, as I'm sure it is to everybody in the entire world. And our first week was a little wild, and we're just like, what the hell are we going to do? But immediately after that, we brainstormed all these new ideas. We jumped straight into an art hole. We started developing all these virtual aspects of our business and really just got creative. And we honestly haven't left our home since March 13th.
That's not true. I went and got gas once in the car.
Once. I
That's
went
it.
for a hike one time.
Yeah.
But besides that, we're just taking advantage of this time that we honestly didn't have before because, like you said, we are constantly touring. If we weren't touring, we were bouncing back and forth from Vegas to LA because of our Vegas residency. LA, it was just a hectic time in our life. And then the complete halt was like, oh, thank fucking God. Now we can get into this stuff that we always wanted to try. You know what I'm saying? So it's been really good, I think.
Yeah. Well, when she's referring to Vegas residency, it's not Gina and the Eastern Bloc's Vegas residency. It's Little Miss Nasty. So we kind of have our hands in both things. But this is, in terms of Gina and the Eastern Bloc, I mean, you know, we've been, there's been, since we also run Little Miss Nasty, you know, time is a commodity. So like Gina said, we hadn't had a lot of time to, you know, to like work on more music and to record and to, you know, do all those sorts of things. So this quarantine has been pretty productive. You know, we have about 5 or 6 songs that are almost done that just need some finishing touches with the vocals. So we're going to start kind of feeding those out. But yeah, it's been a really great opportunity to just hunker down and get really creative as well.
Yeah, for sure. I relate to it on both ways because I'm a band photographer as well. And I was pretty much touring for 3 years nonstop. So that like abrupt halt, and I'm sure Gina felt that as well. Like, oh, whoa, what do you mean? I'm just going to be home? I don't have to be in like 40 places right now. So I totally understand that. But it was cool to kind of chill out and do like some creative stuff and do like different portraits and stuff like that, stuff that I've been wanting to do. So I feel that for sure. It was such a weird feeling, and it still is with everything still being shut down.
Yeah, you know, it's just adapting to this new way of life. And
well, we also live in LA, and this whole city, well, a huge majority of it, not to mention we go to Vegas all the time too. So both of those places are built on entertainment. So many people. Yeah. So we're kind of surrounded by people who are creative people as well, who don't have the ability to really do much right now. So there's a kind of a weird energy in the air in Los Angeles right now. And I think a lot of people are chomping at the bit to get back out there, but you know, we just kind of can't right now.
I feel like we jumped right into projects and we just went for it, trying all these new things and working on our music, thinking about the next versions of our shows, all this virtual stuff. Yeah. That we kind of helped inspire other people in LA and in the entertainment world who were totally defeated by quarantine and like, shit, my life is over. I can't do anything. I'm depressed. But just opening up these new channels and kind of diving right into it I feel like it helped a lot of our peers and people who work with us, and we kind of brought them along for the ride.
Even just like Instagram followers and people just out there, just because I mean, look, if you live in Iowa right now, you know, and it's shut down, it must be really shut down. You know, you must be really isolated. So I think we've inspired some people to kind of to get creative and to figure things out.
Keep going
during this because of, I guess, what we're doing, and we're just doing it out of necessity, but we're also doing it because we kind of enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think people are doing some really cool creative things. And I know the School of Nasty that you guys have been, I know you've been promoting a lot on social media and stuff. Is really, really fucking cool. And I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. How did that kind of come about where you wanted to do the School of Nasty?
At first, it was an empowerment class because we kind of sensed that our fans and our followers were depressed and just everyone was sad at first, you know what I mean? And shuffling to figure out what to do with your time, how to help each other. So our first course, we plan on just doing like inspirational speeches and like empowerment, listen to me talk. And then shortly after that, we realized people wanted to dance, you know, like Little Miss Nasty is a dance show. So why the hell aren't we dancing in class? So literally right before the course started, I added in the information. Okay, we're also dancing the last 45 minutes of class. And so people were psyched. We tested the first 3 classes as a little series, and a whole bunch of people signed up from around the world. They really, really loved it. And we're like, this can't just stop now. Why don't we do class every Sunday and make it a thing? And now I have a little army of dancers literally from all around the world. Yeah. We have like Australia. She takes class at 7 a.m. We have girls from the UK. We have girls from Mexico. We have boys in class. It's just like an awesome group of people all around the world who necessarily wouldn't have a chance to take class from us ever. You know, like how cool is that we can do this stuff online and virtually now, you know?
Thankfully, no one's taking class from me. However, the idea of School of Nasty came about also out of kind of necessity to fill a void. It didn't exist before this quarantine. And I think that's kind of what you're asking too, like where did this come from? Yeah. We've always been, what's that?
The art of being nasty.
Oh yeah, well, so when Gina and Eastern Bloc and Little Miss Nasty go on tour, every once in a while in cities like Chicago and New York and wherever really, we did this sort of thing called the art of being nasty, the art of nasty basically, which is a dance intensive. So we would like I wouldn't, but Gina would spend the afternoon with like people in cities, like in dance schools, and like sort of bring Little Miss Nasty more intimately to them. And so that kind of was the idea. And then we decided, well, I guess we can make this virtual now in some capacity during this quarantine. Because it's a good business idea, obviously, and B, it's also really cool and people need an outlet. So it seems to be satisfying all ends of the spectrum. And we just didn't want to like just go and crawl into a bunker, you know, in the middle of March of 2020 and not be productive. So we thought, well, we have to be available. So what's the way to connect through this medium? And of course, everyone's doing it now, but you know, it's fun.
You should come take a class.
I've thought about it. I've seen them a couple times, and I'm like, I used to dance when I was like in my teens. I'm acting like I'm so old right now, but I used to dance when I was in my teens. I don't know why. I'm just scared of it, but I might now.
Literally, this Sunday I'm doing a beginner class, and it's slow and sensual. We're gonna do it to Garbage #1 Crush. If you want it.
Oh shit! Okay.
I'll send you the link if you want. You don't have to pay for it. I'll let you be my guest if you want.
Okay. You talk me into it.
You want to get nasty with me.
Yeah. I definitely want to do that. Like I was a theater brat growing up. Nobody knows this about me, so it's gonna be like a bomb drop to everybody. I was a huge theater brat growing up, and I like got out of it. I don't even know why. And now I'm kind of like, I kept seeing them pop up. I was like, I want to do that. And I was just like so like about it. But yeah, I'll do it now. You got me hyped up. We do this now.
Okay, hooked ya.
Yeah, hooked ya. You got it.
Got you.
So, obviously, we've been talking a lot about how Little Miss Nasty and Gina and Eastern Bloc are kind of intertwined. I know that you guys the Gina and the Eastern Bloc came together in like 2012. How did that kind of morph in with Little Miss Nasty? Like, how did you guys get that like so intertwined?
That was, we basically started both groups in the same year. Did you ever think about that?
Kind of. No, well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, around 2012, yeah, we kind of started Gina and the Eastern Bloc. Maybe a little before that. We started writing songs, and we started I had all these little kooky song ideas, and I was working with my guitar player in New York, and we just kind of had these things, and I presented a couple to Gina. Or I think I gave her a CD, and she like secretly was listening to it in her car, a CD. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I have an idea. I was like, oh, wow, that'd be amazing if you could actually sing in a band that I'm in. That'd be great. Be fucking amazing. So I brought her into the studio, my old studio, and she showed up and she killed it. And it was like, wow, we might have something here. So we started writing songs, you know, and then slowly built that up over a few years. We kind of started getting our legs maybe 3 years into. We played a lot of shows, but we kind of just sound coalesced maybe 3 years into it. And we really kind of figured out where we really felt good and what worked with her and what worked with me. Because I come from a rock background and a little bit of the hip hop background. And Gina comes from as far as a fan of music, like a hip hop background and then a rock background. So we kind of married those two in some ways and kind of found a voice.
And I think it was one of my OG girls in the Little Miss Nasty show. She's like, Gina, why don't we dance the Sippin' on a 40? And I was like, no, I could never, ever put my song in the show. I'm like, that would be so embarrassing and like total self-promo. I'm like, I don't think I could do that. And she's like, no, I have an awesome idea. I'll have a 40 and I'll get fucking soaked at the end and make like this wild production. And I was like, okay, if you can kill it and basically pitch it to me and I like your performance, maybe. So we slid the song in 1 year and everyone went wild and it was like the hit of our show all of a sudden. Like everyone looked forward to Sippin' on a 40 in Little Miss Nasty. And so I was like, oh shit. Now I feel that Little Miss Nasty kind of robbed Sippin' on a 40 as a song. Like I don't even apply it to me anymore. I'm like, oh, it's Little Miss Nasty's song.
But it's like this hand feeds this hand. So we're both the same hand, Little Miss Nasty and Gina Eastern Bloc. And I was saying, by the way, talking about intertwining these things, I said to Gina like 2014 or something, I was like, you know what? You know, the hip hop artists and their mentality is like they don't give a shit. They have 13 people featuring on their songs. Everyone's blasting out and promoting it. They're cross-promoting everything. Like, why are rock musicians so holier than thou? They can't do that. Some of them, at least. So I was like, fuck it. Let's like just cross-promote all this stuff. And you agreed. And then we started. And that also started jump started. We was like, let's put a song in the show from Gina and the Eastern Bloc. And that's kind of what happened. At the same time as Taryn or someone came up with the idea of having Sippin' on a 40. So
then we're like, fuck it. Let's tour together. And anytime we're on the road, I'll just double down and do 10,000 shows a night. And we'll have Gina Eastern Bloc and Little Miss Nasty on the bill.
I'll tell you also what's cool about that, since you didn't ask, I'll tell you. Little Miss Nasty in 2017 went on its first kind of real national tour as a support artist for In This Moment and Motionless in White. And that was an incredible tour. It was like 7 weeks. These are like 2,000 to 3,000 seat venues, give or take, some smaller, but like pretty good size. And talk about cross-promoting, Gina and the Eastern Bloc wasn't on the tour as a band, but we brought in Sippin' on a 40 and we took the vocals out of the live mix and Gina sang to it during Little Miss Nasty's set.
I was like, fuck it,
and we integrated that into Little Miss Nasty's performance, so we had a lot of different so we gained a fan base also without even having to play a show as Gina and the Eastern Bloc as a result of that tour. So the whole notion of like cross-promoting has been effective and people seem to like it, so why not continue?
And I feel like once you go there, you aren't afraid to go there anymore. So now I'm like, here's my band, here's my group, we're all a big happy family, and I'm gonna shove it in your face until you fucking puke.
Yeah, so
I definitely agree with like there's a lot of hip hop people that do that cross promoting all the time, but there's not a lot of people in rock that do that. So I think that's a very smart way to go about it, because I know even like with like photographers and in media stuff, at least on that aspect, anytime like I want to cross promote somebody, I'm like, oh yeah, let's do that. Like it works for everybody. I don't understand why that's not more of a common thing in the rock community.
Yeah.
Well, I think when people are starting to see like, not only are fans cool with it, but they're actually making money off of it too. Everybody wins. So I think rock people will get amnesia really quick, you know, and forget about the time where they were too cool and they were selling out. I mean, the selling out days are so far gone now, you know, especially right now when record companies and nothing really matters except really being kind of independent as a musician. That's kind of how you sort of have to just figure it out. So you can't really worry about, you know, nobody cares anymore.
No, fuck it.
I don't know. We don't care.
Yeah, everyone's going like the more like I guess indie route, and I think that's a great way to go about it, where everyone wants to be in control of their music, which is how it should be. These record companies shouldn't be controlling everything. So I love seeing people that are like kind of taking control of their art, and they're like, fuck this, like fuck the system, pretty much. We're just gonna do this. You know?
You know what's funny though? I got a YouTube notification that our own song, we were violating the copyright. So I had to write YouTube and say, no, this is literally our song though. So that's interesting. I was thinking about today, like, wow, that must happen to artists all the time. And, you know, because it's so hard to put stuff on YouTube and often things get flagged, or they used to get flagged more. But when you're independent, you know, and you're there's no label behind you, you kind of have to answer those emails yourself and be on top of everything. Yeah. But it's pretty ironic that they flagged our own song because we were violating our own copyright.
That's crazy.
Oops. Good thing we have smart people like him in the band to handle all the label work.
That's all on that. Oh my god. No, I totally get that, because there were I used to, I don't anymore because of these issues, but I used to have like an intro song play of whatever band I was interviewing. And it was like, oh yeah, no one really cared like that I used their stuff. They're like, oh, we're in it, it's fine. But like I kept getting flagged on Spotify, like through Anchor and stuff like that. And it's like, why? Who's flagging this? Like the people that literally wrote the song don't give a shit. Like
the bots.
Well, we're figuring it out. It's a new thing. So I think all these platforms are trying to figure out the best way to do it. We're kind of all the guinea pigs right now for it.
Yeah, for sure. You mentioned that you obviously are kind of the label handler, emailer, whatever. I also saw that you do music producing, and I kind of wanted to talk to you about that a little bit, because I know nothing about music producing. I'm going to throw that out there, but I've always been very interested in how that works. Like, what is usually like your role as a producer? Like when a band's like trying to like do a song through you, like what do you exactly do?
Well, I mean, a producer in music by definition is someone who's integrated in the creative process, not necessarily the business process, but that can be part of it. But I'm here as like a director as to an actor to work with a band or a singer and put all the pieces together to bring in the right players or to help you construct your song. You know, if it's a band, for example, that has been working on a song or a bunch of songs for like 2 years in their garage and played local venues on them, and they want to finally make a record with me, I have to go in and work with them before we ever press record and rehearse, and I help fine-tune parts and maybe move verses to be a little longer, or sometimes the songs are great as they are, but I'm involved in that creative process. And then we go into the studio. I'm also a producer engineer, so that means I'm the guy like, you know, turning the knobs and all that stuff. So I'm involved in the technical aspect of actually putting microphones in front of instruments and figuring out which guitars to use for which parts of which songs. And I think a lot of people who are listeners, they listen to music and they think it just somehow just magically materialized like in like 2 hours in the studio. It's never the case. It usually takes days and sometimes weeks and sometimes months for one song to really go through all the incarnations to be releasable. So it's a lot of work. And I mean, that's what I've been doing for a living since for a while. And then it's sort of it's kind of like translated into now management and things like that for Ginas from Michael Little Miss Nasty. But I make music all the time. It's great. It's fun.
Obviously. Something I'll say about Mark is there are producers that you'll go in the studio with them and, you know, they kind of just sit there, press record, do your little song. But Mark is so invested in his artists and their music when he's working with them he does all the steps. And in some circumstances, there's like an entire crew, like someone's pressing record, someone's being the microphone boy, someone's like oiling up the guitars, whatever the hell happens.
Oiling up the guitars?
Yeah, you know, like moving them up.
Wait,
I don't
what?
need anybody else.
But Mark does all of it. And he mixes and he plays all instruments. So if a band comes in or an artist and they don't have whatever, a guitar part or a bass line, Mark can play everything, and he records himself, he lays it down, he mixes albums. You've even mastered albums before. Literally, his producer role is like huge, and his skill set is enormous. That's why we can like run our own shit and do everything because him.
Well, takes a lot of moving parts, but sometimes I wear a lot of hats, sometimes I don't. Yeah. But I guess I'm capable of wearing multiple hats if need be, but I'm not saying I want to, but I do.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Enough about me. But thanks.
No, that's really cool though. It always helps when you have somebody that can handle like multiple things in whatever aspect that is, especially with everything being crazy right now and shut down. It definitely is a plus to be able to do all that stuff by yourself, because you can kind of sit at home and like record a whole album if you fucking wanted to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you don't look now. Technology's gotten pretty advanced that you don't necessarily have to go to a big expensive recording studio to record, you know, your record. Basically, you just really don't have to, and that's good and bad. But you know, for someone like me, it's great because I think I know how to record and produce, so I can just do it here, and I don't have to go and spend $1,000 a day in some studio.
Right.
It's literally one of my dreams, hopefully in the future, to become a music producer too. I mean, that's like along with 20 other things I want to do, but it just feels like it'd be so awesome. And when I watch him work, I'm like, holy shit.
And it's my dream to be in Little Miss Nasty. So let's make that happen, please.
Little Mr. Nasty.
Right, don't give it away.
Nipples out.
Ooh, not much.
He's gonna be the first male in the group.
Yeah, you guys can flash your buttholes.
Jesus, like, Gina.
I'm just kidding.
Foul. She's got definitely. We were talking about how like she had to have her mouth washed out with soap when she was a kid. So like,
I feel that.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, I mean, just these things slip out that I don't really help them. But
I don't know.
That's Gina.
No, I feel it.
That's why all of our songs have the word fuck.
Almost all of them except for 2, I believe, have the word fuck.
And our last tour,
we called it the fuck tour.
Our set list was so ridiculous because it was like, fuck the system. What else? What other songs they have? There were so many fucks.
Every song has an F-bomb in it. Like, and not just in one little area. They're like major components of these songs. So I'm just like, wow, is anyone going to know in the audience? Like,
I know.
So I don't think they do.
I was like super embarrassed. We were rehearsing our set for our last tour, and I was just like, Mark, this is out of control. So we ended up naming our tour the Fuck Tour because I was embarrassed of how many times I said fuck.
Make it obvious. This is what it is. So.
I was like, well, okay, here we go.
We're turning a corner with the new songs, though.
Yeah, okay, we're trying to.
Gina's trying to.
That's great. But now I feel that it's worse when you're trying to watch what you're saying too, because you're like, oh shit, like I need to watch my language. Fuck, and it's like, oh shit, like it makes it 10 times worse when you're trying to not do it.
Fuck is it's a strong word. What can I say? And it works in aggressive, loud music. It works pretty well.
But see, I don't look at it like it's a strong word. I mean, I know it is, but whenever I say it, Mark's like, whoa, why are you saying fuck in just real life situations? I'm like, oh no, I meant like, fuck. Just, it's like a filler /
Yeah.
It kind of means, I don't know, I don't look at it like, fuck, it's more like fucking, it's just a little sprinkle of spice.
Yeah. Some sprinkles on on top of my words to make it sound better.
Yeah, it's just like a little enhancement, if you will.
It's a sentence enhancer. I'm totally for this.
I'll try. I'll reach out for some bigger vocabulary words in my next
songs.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out. It has to be
the next album. It's going to be like the fuck album. That's going to be like.
Literally, we could make a double album out of that.
Well, let me just give you a very quick history of Gina. Gina's father is a fairly well-known international touring blues musician. He was a guitar player, and he's great. He's really one of a kind. His name's Michael Caton, and he employs that word quite a bit in life and in his music. So I have an inkling that the apple didn't really fall far from the tree. Yeah. So that's really what probably is the deal here.
Yeah.
Aww.
He used to make me say it when I was little, and I was like, okay, I'm like that.
Yeah, there you go. See, there it is right there. Mike, if you're watching.
I grew up in an Italian household, so like until I was like 13, I thought my name was Fuck. So I totally.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, of course.
Wait, so how did you find out about us, or did you see us in tour?
Yeah, I saw you guys last year when you were in Pittsburgh. My friends in Hot Pink Satan, they're like a local Pittsburgh electronic act. Yeah, they opened for you guys. I didn't really know who you guys were, and I was just kind of like, oh, this is cool. And I just kind of like stood in the corner. I was like, this is fucking dope. Yeah, I thought it was really fucking cool. And I've just been following you guys like
that was the Smiling Moose. Up a few stairs. Not the greatest load in and load out scenario. I gotta tell you the truth.
Especially
but the staff and the promoter they were really cool. They helped us. They really went above and beyond and like had all these helpers and all these people carry stuff because I guess they understand the flight of stairs is not fun for a band on tour no matter how many But that was a great show. It was packed because it's a pretty small venue. So that was like a fun show.
I love Pittsburgh so much. I feel like our last two shows there were
Rex Theater was Lords of Acid, Orgy, Little Miss Nasty. Yeah, that was fun too. That place is almost gonna fall apart though, I think.
Really?
Yeah, the Rex Theater's like 200 years old.
Is that the Smiling Moose? When we got there, our shows involved a lot of quick changes. Not necessarily Gina and Ethan, but like Little Miss Nasty. And there was nowhere because the venue is so tight and there's no side stage, there's no backstage, it's fucking punk rock. And so they built this like curtained off area, but it was literally a sliver. And we have so much shit and we were back there like in the pitch black, trying to quick change, dripping sweat, rolling around, and Pink Satan's blood. Wait, what is the band called? I tell you, I'm
Hot Pink Satan.
Oh yeah. That was an awesome act.
Yeah, they were fun.
I feel like that was such a fun night.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was a good show.
Oh my God.
You were there. That's amazing. So
let's go back on tour.
Yeah, I know. I want to go back out so bad. I was so mad because I wish I would have known who you guys were like before that show. So I would have been a little bit more prepared going in because I felt like I was just like awkwardly standing there like that the whole time. But like I loved it. I don't know what to do or how to act right now.
That's good.
Worked out.
Yeah, it was a killer night. And the loading at that venue, to get back to what you were saying about that, I've done like help.
You frozen a little bit.
Don't freeze.
We're still here though. I think what she was saying was
the loading fucking
sucks. Gotta climb all these stairs. It's insane.
Literally.
It's insane, but you know, the things we do for rock and roll.
The things we do.
We do. We suck it up.
I know.
Not to mention we had a tour bus. That tour, our tour bus generator was broken during that week of the tour, so we had no air conditioning.
Or lights.
Or power on the bus. So that was a huge it wasn't really that big of a deal.
I think I got ready in the dark on the bus.
Probably with like cell phone flashlights.
Yeah. And then I walked to the venue and climbed the stairs and did my show.
She's going to come back on, but we're here.
We're
going to entertain you. So what else do you want to know? Let's channel the questions.
Mark has a really good trick he does.
What's that?
With your toes.
No, I don't. You do.
I know.
She can actually make her toes go like this.
I can.
You don't want to ever see
flick
that.
You off with my toes.
You don't want to see that. You do not want to see that.
But I do want to see my cute shoes.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so what else? What else was she going to ask us? She was going to ask us about, are you writing? Are we recording? Why aren't we recording a full-length record? Like, or are we? Or what's the deal?
I don't know. I kind of just feel like we pop out singles when we feel like it.
We do.
Yeah.
So the question you were about to ask was, so you guys, are you going to record an album ever? Well,
maybe.
I don't know, because thing is, nobody seems to really listen to full-length albums anymore unless they have the actual CD, which we could sell on tour. But like most people listen to stuff on Apple Music or Spotify or Amazon, and they kind of don't really go through the full album. If I'm wrong, let me know. But everything I've heard and everything everything that I kind of know is that people just like to listen to this. They cherry pick the songs they wanna hear. So we like to release like singles every 3 or 4 months. Sometimes there she is.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole StreamYard canceled, and I don't know what happened with that. That was so bizarre.
We were answering the questions you didn't ask yet, so don't worry.
So what did I miss while I was gone?
We talked about Pittsburgh a little more.
We talked about Pittsburgh. We also talked about the fact that you were going to ask us, or you did ask us while you were not there.
Oh yeah. You asked us.
What's up with? Are you going to record a full-length record? So we answered that question, and I think it was still recording. So
yeah.
Yes, it was still recording. I just have to put it back in.
So that's cool. We kept them entertained.
So what we were saying is, we don't necessarily plan on doing a full-length album right now. We just kind of drop singles as we feel. I don't know. Is that not band enough? Are we not an official band because we don't?
No, because we're not like those are the old models of how you used to do things. Go get a band, go write a record, go in the studio, go tour on that record for 2 years, then go do another album and take a year off and then go for 2 years. So like that kind of places like barriers, you know? And since we are independent, we can kind of do whatever we want. And it's really better just to release singles every few months because you keep people constantly engaged, and you can release only like the best songs you have. Like we could record 10 songs right now, and maybe only 3 of them we think are really 7 are okay. This is how it goes. All right, maybe 8 are okay.
Yeah.
No, maybe 8 are really good, but we only want to release 2 that are really, really good. Anyway.
But then sometimes you have to think, like, are we gypping the fans for not just laying out all of our content and art and expressions? You know, people want stuff. And if we're only dipping out a few songs here and there,
let's get down to business. I have a recording studio right over there.
I know, it's my fault.
Yeah, but we give people, like, videos, art, like, different stuff. It's not just music. I think fans of bands these days are fans of the whole picture, not just the music, although the music is probably most important. So we'll get on it. We'll record more songs now.
We have some in the works, actually, that are close to being done.
To finish your vocals.
Yeah, to finish my vocals.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to hear them. I'm excited to hear some new music from you guys for sure. I think that's a good way to go about it, though, with singles, because I've found that, like, with certain bands, and I've talked about this like a bunch on here, with some bands, I think it's better to go with, okay, we're going to do an album and do it like the traditional way. And then other bands are like, no, this is more of like single era with Spotify and getting on playlists and stuff like that. So I think it definitely, it's just whatever works for you as like a band. Like if it works for you guys to just put out singles, I think that's a great thing, and just keep fucking doing that and keep going at your own route. But if you're all about like doing the concept albums and doing like a full length album and buckling down for it, there's nothing wrong with doing that either. I just always like to kind of talk about that because I think it's a cool, like, it's a new thing with streaming. People are more prone to go to singles. And like, I'm even guilty of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, listen to I do have records that I love the full thing. You know, once you really get into it.
For sure.
You know, but I don't know. It's people don't have a lot of attention. The attention span is so limited these days. So to spend a year recording a whole record and doing all this stuff and really only getting the attention of a few people on a full record, we'd rather get the attention of a lot more people on one song every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Plus we get excited. I mean, I do. As soon as the song is done, I'm like, oh yeah, let's put it out. Let's put it up right now. Yeah. And then if I had to hold on to that song and wait 7 more months to finish 10 other songs, or
I can tell you as a producer, I've worked with bands that have records out that I worked on records for, and they had labels that signed them. And we would record a record and it wouldn't be released for 18 months or something after you're done. And it's just like a nightmare, you know, for the artists who are sitting around. And then it's released and they trickle out a single and they put another single like 6 months later. And it's just, I don't know. It's not, I don't think in 2020, that's really a effective way to market your band, you know, not anymore.
We just
I think
Yeah.
It takes a while for people to like sit down and listen to a full album. Even me, like even like some of those like older records that are like these classic records, I have a hard time sitting down and just focusing on it. I don't know if that's just because I have a problem focusing on shit for an extended period of time, but like it just I definitely think it's more of a single era right now. So I definitely think that's a cool way you can go about it.
And not just single era. A lot of people are making songs that are like 2 minutes and 3 seconds long. Like literally, people are releasing songs. They're like, you know what? Let's kill all the fluff. Let's get rid of the bridge. We don't need this long intro, this long outro. Let's hit it and quit it. Not saying it's what we want to do, but it's interesting. You know, it's definitely interesting to see what the mentality and the psychology of people who listen to music these days are.
And plus, sometimes, well, a lot of the time, Mark will make an awesome piece of music without me, and I'm kind of in the background, like I'm listening to what's going on. I get my idea of what I want to write about, maybe a certain part in my head. After working on that for a little bit of time, and I still can't come up with one more part or whatever, I'm like, fuck it. Why do we even need like verse, chorus, bridge, breakdown, ending? You know. So we've been trimming up our songs also on our end, just because sometimes I can't come up with a part, or we want to try something unconventional and trim out part of the song and make it shorter. I think that's so cool. I love interludes. My favorite shit when I was growing up on albums were the interludes and the small things and the random musical bits they would throw in there. Like, so cool. I want to do more of that.
All right, so we have to make a record then. That's what you're saying.
I know.
So we can have like a song, interlude, a song. I don't know. We gotta figure this one out. We put interludes in our songs.
Yes.
I mean, Halsey released an interlude as a single, so I mean, you guys could do that.
Word.
Yeah, I mean, we could do it whatever we want because we don't have a label telling us to do, which is really good.
Yeah, you guys can kind of just chill out and rock out and do whatever you guys kind of want to do. I think the interlude thing's definitely cool though, and the only modern artist that I personally know of doing that was Halsey. When she released her last album, she had like 2 or 3 interludes on there. And I was like, nobody has done this since like the 90s, but this is so fucking cool.
Yeah, since like Radiohead or something. Yeah, for sure.
I love interludes so much.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, like a super long Radiohead album. It's like there's like 14 interludes, but what's going on?
Here's our album, 30-second songs, the whole thing. You guys wanted an album?
It's like the album's like 10 minutes long, and it's like 14 songs and just 30-second interludes.
Yeah, get those plays.
There's something ridiculous like that. Oh my gosh. The one you guys did release, I think it's the last release you guys put out, was a 9 Inch Nails cover. You guys did have like a whole. I thought that was so fitting. Usually, like I'm usually skeptical when I see bands doing covers because I'm like, I don't really know if this fits. The bass lines that you guys have in like your normal songs, I felt fit so well in 9 Inch Nails. So when I saw that you guys were like teasing it, I was like, yes, like this is gonna be like so fucking dope. How did you guys kind of like pick, I guess, that song? Like what kind of went into that?
Well, okay. That particular song, I came up with the music for that 2 years ago. I was sitting there and I wrote like kind of, not all the music, but most of it, like the guitar parts and some like demo drum parts. Mm-hmm. And we kind of just sort of forgot about it actually. And I think I gave it to Gina and she had one idea and we just both were really happy with it. And then it sort of went on my hard drive of like, go back to these songs at someday folder. And I went back to that song in like April or something. And I listened to it. I was like, and just literally out of nowhere, as if divine intervention, as I was listening to that, I just started singing, bow down before I started singing parts of Head Like a Hole. And then I was like, wow, this could totally work. And then we were thinking about all the sort of anarchy in the streets and all the social discord and all the protesting and everything in the quarantine and all this stuff. It just seemed like a pretty relevant song lyrically to put out, and it just fit with the music really well. And what was cool about it is I think most artists, when they go and do a cover, they make the decision, I'm going to do a cover of this song. So it's hard for them to imagine the music being any other way. this music was imagined before we even thought it was going to be held like a whole. So that kind of gave it a real, like, kind of unique, I think, unique flavor too.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
And just one day, Mark was like, "Oh, I remember this track," and he pulled it up, and I was like, "Yeah, that shit's tight." And then he found the solo track of Trent's vocals and laid it over it, and then we're like, "Holy fuck!" Like it just blended.
Yeah.
So like it was so cool.
I found somewhere, and I time stretched it to fit whatever
yeah, we, like,
technical
slowed it down.
shit. But like, I was like, "Wow, this actually is unbelievable. It works so well." And all of the changes I had already written, like, were 8 bars each or something. So it all worked with the structure of the original song.
And he's like, "Go practice." And I was like, "Oh shit, here we go. Now I have to stand up and do my first cover ever."
Yeah, of something that Trent Reznor sung. So it was like, all right, well, so she worked on it. We made, like, you worked on it for like a couple weeks at least just to really get it and to try to get your own way of doing it, because it's borderline, scary to cover someone like Trent Reznor,
for sure.
But we haven't had anyone say anything really negative about it. I thought we were like, "Oh, how dare you, it's sacrilegious." So people seem to like it, So I think we did our own cool version of it that is kind of hard to critique negatively.
Yeah, it wasn't even planned.
Even if they do, they don't care.
Like, here's a track. Oh, let's make it head like a whole.
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's do it. Record, pop it out. Still have to make a video for it. I have a list of videos to be made.
Yeah.
Bloodsucker Motherfucker was another song we released during quarantine. And I love it so much. And I have this whole concept video and all of my props and all of this shit to dive into and get done soon. And so hopefully that will be appearing within the next month.
We have to make it so. You said it, so.
No, I said this so many times.
No, we're going to do it.
My to-do list starts like here and goes across the fucking room. So, I'm chipping away.
Yeah.
Chipping away.
We'll get it done. For you.
No, I totally feel that. No, I get that. You get like this concept in your mind of, I want to do all this stuff, and sometimes it gets very overwhelming, and you just have to be like, okay, I'm picking one thing to focus on and go down it. So I totally get that.
Yeah, we have literally a chalkboard in the living room that has all of our to-do things on it that gets like erased every day, and because of course we have a band, we also have the show, and we have this we have a bunch of things. So, but we have time now, or so we thought.
Yeah, we thought until shit starts going down, and then you're like, wait, today we have to really stick to our schedule, or else we're not going to get everything done. Like,
yeah.
We're trying.
Yeah. Well, you guys seem to be making the most of this lockdown and keeping everything kind of chill and staying busy. So that's really cool. I appreciate you guys taking time to talk with me with this and dealing with my technical difficulties. So I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us.
Love it. Hope to be in Pittsburgh soon.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, hopefully.
We will next year. It's on our tour dates for next year.
It's on the dates.
It is.
Yeah, hopefully. And I will definitely be seeing you guys in Pittsburgh whenever you guys eventually come back and we can go back to being normal again and doing our crazy shit.
I know.
And if you are interested in anything Little Miss Nasty related or Gina and the Eastern Bloc related, Gina and the EasternBloc.com is our website, and then LittleMissNastyOfficial.com has everything and anything Little Miss Nasty, and there's merchandise on both sites. There's some live stream things, and we're going to be updating with more offerings very soon for both Gina and Little Miss Nasty.
That's right.
That's my plug.
Awesome. And I'll link all of that in the description of this too when I post it live, so everybody can go check out all the awesome links and check out School of Nasty if they're into that too, and check out all the merch and get you guys out there a little bit more. That's really cool. So thank you guys again for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Please stay in touch, and let's
collab again, homegirl.
Yeah, for sure. I can't wait. For everything to go back to normal. And hopefully I can see you guys when everything chills the fuck out.
We're still here. We're thriving. We're making the most of it. And new music is coming soon, along with my video projects.
I'm very excited to see the video projects and see the creative output that's going to come out of this.
Yeah, and I love video editing. So literally projects get done between Mark and I. You know, we don't really have to outsource or anything. So it's from our hearts.
It's mom and pop.
It's mom and pop.
Yeah.
You know.
It's an inside project.
It is.
It totally is.
Yeah, top to bottom, inside out. We're here in our art hole together. Forever.
Oh my God. All right.
Oh my God. Well, thank you guys again, and I will definitely stay in touch with you guys.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you.
Enjoy. Be safe out there.
All right. Bye, guys.
See you later.
See ya.
Adios.